Grant's been answering some of your questions too, and he's touching on why some routers need to be set periodically, as well as how you can get caught if you're downloading on BitTorrent illegally.
Have you tried turning it off and on again? A question that's become as common as a cold and often just as welcome. Often it's being directed at you by a tirelessly patient ISP phone operator with regards to your router that seems once again to have packed up, leaving you without access to internet. It's basically modern day exile. As a mythical fix for all, turning the router off and on is right up there with a cup of tea or a spray of Windex. We're not sure how it works, but one of you has asked, and I'm here to give you my best bet of why you need to keep on doing this. There are many reasons why your router might be acting up, if it is indeed the router's fault and not your ISP or a slow connection owing to one or other gadget updating in another part of the house. For instance, your router might need a firmware update. Check that your firmware is the latest version by visiting your router's manufacturing website and seeing whether your software is the last downloadable iteration. If your firmware is A-OK, you might want to check if sites like BitTorrent aren't flooding your router with file sharing connections. If you shut down the client for a day or so and note an improvement, your router needs all that rebooting because it can't handle your number of given daily downloads. A less complicated solution is more ventilation for your router, as an overheated router is one prone to packing in. It's also possible your router is in the wrong place in your house, making the signal and in turn your web access weak. If you suspect this is the culprit, you could try moving the router to a different area or plugging it in directly. You might also need to reset your router because this helps to fix any memory leaks that may have occurred naturally over time. In this way, your router is given a fresh start, as any memory issues are cleared when the factory settings are restored. It's a bit like turning back into a baby the minute your memory starts to go a bit off. Problems with your internet dropping can also come from a router that's faulty, in which case none of the suggestions mentioned would have helped, and you would have had to keep restarting the device. It's best to keep this option until last, but if you suspect that it's your router, you'll need to invest in a new one before you go insane. Well, there you have it. The many reasons why you may have had to restart your router. There are a few good sources online for more information, so have a look around if you're still not 100% sure. It's always a bright idea to do some of your own research and to be able to show your IT specialist a thing or two. Who knows, you might take their job. Tinker, tweak, and prod. There are a fair few more things to do than switch your router on and off. Remember those campaigns that used to run before films? The ones that asked, if you wouldn't steal a car, why would you illegally download a movie? They might have seemed a little melodramatic at the time, and you might have returned home that very same night to check on your download of the next season of Game of Thrones via BitTorrent. A vast number of internet-savvy people have, at some point, downloaded content. But just because pretty much everyone has done it, doesn't make it legal. At the same time, a law that isn't enforced isn't much of a law, right? Well, don't get too comfortable just yet. The Southern African Federation Against Copyright Theft, or SAFACT, reported that in 2014, almost 900 arrests were made involving accusations of intellectual property infringement. Admittedly, most of these involved people were selling hard copy discs and widely distributing them, rather than an average suburbanite seeking a download of the new Will Ferrell movie. But torrent websites like BitTorrent are monitored by the likes of SAFACT, even in South Africa, where most internet users don't have static IP addresses, which makes tracking who's downloading what a little tricky. Typically, they monitor popular films that everyone wants to see. Think Mockingjay Part 2 or Star Wars. The actual downloading of such a film is not a criminal offense in South Africa, although you are open to damage claims from the copyright owner. The problem with sites like BitTorrent is that while you are downloading, you're also uploading, and that means that you could be had on charges of distribution, which can result in a fine of up to 5,000 Rand and up to 3 years in jail for each copyrighted item that you've uploaded. Obviously, it's not quite the same as stealing a car, but no film or series is worth the paranoia and eventual creative bankruptcy that comes with illegal downloading. And certainly, there isn't an Oscar-nominated film in history worth a jail sentence over 13,000 times its duration. Spend a little more and buy some peace of mind.